It's almost like betting the stock market. The good part about it is you can take a bet today. And in 2 or 3 days, if you nail that bet, you can be able to cash out, Joe. Like you just hit a heavy stock. Like you go into Sun Microsystems or whatever it's called, and you buy into it. In 3 days, you can sell it for a massive profit. Do you understand these markets, Joe?
I do understand the markets. It's amazing how some of the predictive markets seem to have the answers before the test.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
8 3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds. So I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers. And, I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight when Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Travion Henderson and a few others have the Pats at 9-2. Is excellence back in New England, Joe?
Excellence is back in a big way. Mike Vrabel came back into town. Drake May has come out of his shell, and Travion Henderson has come out of, I don't know where he was. He was in obscurity, but he had 3 touchdowns on Thursday night.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Hope you had a great weekend. Of course, it is a very special week as it's Thanksgiving. You see the new decor behind us. I'm very excited. And I'll tell you something right now out of the gate. A lot of people are going absolutely crazy. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's in the water. But you people in Kansas City are crazy. You people in Cleveland are crazy. Some of you people in Indianapolis are crazy. Crazy. So let me start off with the obvious one, all right? And that is the fact that Chiefs fans are gloating today. Think about that for a second. You're gloating because you went to overtime against the Indianapolis Colts in your building and barely hung on to get the overtime dub. And again, didn't even get to overtime without help from the officials. It was almost like a reunion, for lack of a better comparison. It was a reunion of officiating, helping the Kansas City Chiefs win a one-score game. And you'll notice the first 5 games they had this year, when the officials did not help them out, they lost all 5.
They did.
All of a sudden, we have ourselves a one-score game, and the officials start throwing that yellow hanky. Oh, you breathed on Patrick Mahomes, and 15-yard penalty. Oh, you farted in his direction, 15-yard penalty. Oh, you touched him, 15-yard penalty. And Patrick Mahomes, by the way, is no better than Josh Allen when it comes to being tackled or touched and immediately whipping his head around to the referee. Did you see that? They touched me. Oh, you're not allowed to touch me. I'm Patrick Mahomes. That being said, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't going nowhere. The Kansas City Chiefs are done. Yesterday's win, although it allowed them to get a game over 500, does nothing to disavow any of you of the knowledge that the Kansas City Chiefs are broken. That ain't a Super Bowl team. They're not playing like a Super Bowl team. They're not acting like a Super Bowl team. They were very lucky to get out of their own building with a win against Indianapolis Colts. Let's just call it the way it is. Patrick Mahomes is not playing well. They still do not run the ball very, very well. They're the worst deep ball team in the entire NFL, and that includes the New York Giants, and they did it a couple times yesterday in their loss against the Detroit Lions. So I'm trying to figure out, Tyrone, why Kansas City Chiefs fans are gloating today, are flexing today, are bowing out their chests saying, we back. Back from what? You're not a good football team. And by the way, while you are a game over 500, and I guess that's worth celebrating now in Kansas City, which is totally pathetic that you're celebrating and flexing and bowing up because you won in overtime at home against the Colts. The Colts aren't very good either. The Colts had 4 out of their last 5 possessions go 3 and out. And they completely forgot how to call an offensive football game. Your best player is Jonathan Taylor. How about you give Jonathan Taylor the ball and not wait till 3rd down every time and run him up the middle, which is the easiest play to stop? How about that? All right, so let's not gloat if you're Kansas City that you wound up beating Indianapolis. You would not have beaten them if not for the egregious and outrageous roughing the passer calls against the Colts. On one of them, the defensive lineman has a legitimate sack, and gravity pulls him to the ground, so he falls on top of Mahomes. Oh, it's a penalty. On another one, different blitzing linebacker, a lineman, I forget which it was, comes in, gets him by the thigh pad, winds up moving down because, again, there's something called gravity. Newton taught us about it 1,000 years ago.
He did.
And he winds up around Mahomes' shins. Oh! Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I tell you what we're not doing on the show. We're not going to tolerate irresponsible gloating from a team that thinks they've done something because they're 6-5. Congratulations. We'll make a trophy for you because you finally got over 500. Congratulations, Kansas City. You guys are awesome. You're a game over 500. But I did a little something today that no one in Kansas City apparently wants to do.
Okay.
I went online. All right? I went online and I did myself a little bit of research, okay?
Research. A
little bit of research. That's right, because you got to do research, okay? So while Chiefs fans are gloating, and I don't understand why, you played like crap yesterday. Mm-hmm. Let's just call it the way it is. Your offense stinks. You couldn't get the ball in the end zone because you stink. All right? Settling for field goal after field goal after field goal. And only because of the incompetence of the Colts play calling yesterday did you get out of your own building with a W and you didn't cover the spread. So you all lost a whole bunch of money and it serves you right. But let's go to the playoff picture if we can, okay?
If you will.
Let's take a look at those flexing Kansas City Chiefs fans and what they're so happy about. So I've got the standings right here, okay? All right. In first place right now in the AFC, the New England Patriots, and they're 10-2. Second place, you got the Broncos 9-2. Then the Colts, having lost yesterday at 8-3, okay? Baltimore, we'll get to them later in the show because, again, I'm always right. 5 consecutive wins now, over 500. They have the division title right now, so they're the 4 seed. Okay, great. Kansas City's flexing, so you might as well be, you got to be the 5 seed if you're flexing.
You would
no,
think.
You're not the 5 seed because the Chargers are the 5 seed at 7-4. Oh, but we're bowing out our chest because we did something yesterday by beating the Colts, so you got to be the 6 seed. Now, you're not the 6 seed. Jacksonville is because they're 7-4. They won yesterday also. Well, I mean, if Chiefs fans who call themselves football aficionados and experts know anything about football, you wouldn't possibly be bowing out your chest or flexing if you weren't in the 7th spot.
I mean, clearly.
Right?
Clearly.
Well, you're not in the 7th spot either because the Buffalo Bills are. All right, well, you got to be 1 spot out. If I'm not 5, 6, or 7, well, for sure I got to be 8. Well, let's take a look at the list. No, the 8 seed right now, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 6-5. Well, then wait a second. Here we are coming up a big Thursday night game against the Cowboys. Last game of the month of November for us. We got to be the 9 seed, right? Let me take a look. No, you're not. The Houston Texans are the 9 seed. And there you are. There you are. You morons in Kansas City who are running around town, yelling and screaming about how great the Chiefs are, how the Chiefs are back. The game was never in question. We were never going to lose. We are the team to beat. We've got the Super Bowl pedigree. And there you are in 10th spot. And oh, by the way, you lose the tiebreaker to Houston. You lose the tiebreaker to Pittsburgh. You lose the tiebreaker to Buffalo. You lose the tiebreaker to Jacksonville. You currently lose the tiebreaker to the LA Chargers. And you would also lose the tiebreaker to the Baltimore Ravens if they wound up being one of the wild card teams. So you are chasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different teams, 6 of them that record-wise, yes, you're within a game of, but you were behind all of them when it comes to the current tiebreakers. Now, I know that can change over time, because you have some, common games coming up.
Yeah.
But what are you so excited about? What are you cheering about? I watched every snap of that game yesterday. And again, if the officials don't get involved, you lose again. You did not win that game on merit. You won that game because of a couple bogus roughing the passer calls, and because the Indianapolis Colts forgot how to run an offense. You were down 11 points in the fourth quarter, and the Colts decided we're now just going to be a 3-and-out offense. And for the life of me, I don't understand what the F they were doing. The Indianapolis Colts gave that game away, and there was no reason to do it. But don't wake up this morning. Don't go to work today. Don't live under this crazy umbrella that you did something yesterday, because you didn't.
They're excited.
The Kansas City Chiefs fan might be the dumbest, least educated fan in football. You didn't win that game yesterday. The refs handed you that game yesterday. The Colts handed you that game yesterday. And when you put your head on a pillow last night, you had to have recognized, if you're not lying to yourselves, that it's still broke. And I want to be clear, the word I use there, it ain't broken. It's broke.
Broke.
Broke is worse than broken. The Kansas City Chiefs are broke. And now you've got the red-hot Dallas Cowboys in Dallas on Thursday. Woohoo! Can't wait for that. We got a great show for you. Don't touch it. Shedeur Sanders is next.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are the wins coming from? And yes, I agree. Are they good enough to win those games? Yeah, of course they are, right? But the reality of this team is not very good this year in one-score games. They're not. That was their bread and butter a year ago. Like every win last year, one-score game, the Chiefs found a way to win it.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You need Justin Jefferson on that wall in the playoffs. Like, you got to go get him. He is still the man. I understand the JJ week last. I get it. It was ugly. There were a lot of spots where, where's he throwing that ball to? What's he doing? It'll be fine. Justin Jefferson's far too talented, and McCarthy will continue to figure it out. But it's the target volume you want. He gets double-digit targets every week. He is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. I happen to be in a fabulous mood, by the way. Tyrone Johnson's here. I forgot to say hi to him when we first jumped out this morning. Tyrone is with me. I went out to the bathroom right before the show, and there's a couple fans of the show going, "Yo, Craig, what about the Chiefs?" Yeah, you people are crazy. I mean, you're just crazy. And I'm here for all the smoke, man. I'm here for it. Tyrone's here for it also.
I'm here for the smoke.
Yeah, we're going to get to Tyrone's Eagles in a little bit. He ain't here for that smoke. Yeah. But we're here for all the Chiefs smoke. Now, let's get to Shedeur Sanders, all right? Because I'm in a weird spot when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, right? First and foremost, let me just say, it's awesome for Shedeur, awesome for Dion and for anyone that's close to that family to have witnessed what they got to see yesterday. There's a human element that a lot of times, myself included, we totally forget about. We sometimes view professional athletes as robots, and we forget the fact that they bleed like we bleed, they pee like we pee, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
They're human beings, and we a lot of times lose sight of that. So the fact that the kid gets his first ever start in the NFL, and regardless of how he played or didn't play, he got to play, and the Cleveland Browns won a football game, and he had a touchdown pass. Awesome. Like, just from a human, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like from a human nature standpoint.
Yeah.
The human element of this. I want to be clear, fantastic. I'm a dad. I have a son who plays, Division III college football. I get it. Like, the pride you have watching your son, the pride your son has being able to go out there and play, I respect it, I get it, and I don't want to pay that short shrift because it means a lot. That being said, to everybody else outside of the Sanders family and the closest friends that they have, if you watch that game and you walked away from that game convinced that Shedeur Sanders was a first-round draft pick, you're wrong. If you watch that game saying the Cleveland Browns are a much better team with him at quarterback, you're wrong. If you watch that game and said, all right, he was not incompetent, the game wasn't too much for him, but he's got a long way to go before we're going to look at him as a franchise quarterback, ding, 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 you're right. And that's the thing that gets me. And I want to be very clear about how I handle this. I'm excluding the Sanders family. I'm excluding the people that have been in their lives for years and years and years who have a vested interest in the kid playing well. I have nothing but respect for you people and the people that have been along for the ride since the kid was born, right?
Right.
And you should feel great about it. You should be bowing out your chest about it. You should be filled with pride about what Shedeur did yesterday. But you also got to see why Shedeur Sanders a lot of times is so unlikable to everybody else. I want you to listen to what he said right after the game yesterday. Now, before I play it for you, I need to remind you that in yesterday's game, Shedeur Sanders completed 11 passes. He was just a tick over 50% completion percentage. He was 11 for 20. The best play of the day for that offense was a screen pass. He threw the ball 0 yards forward, and the running back took it 60-plus yards to the house for a touchdown. That's not a play a quarterback gloats over because you didn't do all that much, right?
On that particular play.
On that particular play.
Yeah.
Here's Shedeur Sanders after the game when he had a chance to be humble and chose not to be. Watch.
Win is crazy. It's amazing, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This 1 week of practice. So imagine, what a full offseason look like. It get dangerous. But it's just a 1 week of practice, so I'm just truly thankful, that everything happened.
And that's the problem. And that's why so many people dislike him, because that was the moment to be humble. That was the moment to be thankful.
But why?
Because it's the right thing to do.
No, why?
Because,
Your sentence doesn't answer the question. Why does he have to dim his light to make you like him?
No, it's not dimming his light.
It is dimming his light.
He completed 11 passes.
And he won the game. The first Browns rookie to win his first start in 30 years. That's not an opinion.
Doesn't mean anything.
And he threw the longest pass air yards by any Browns receiver quarterback since 2023.
That was the one
the one that Judy
fumbled
down
after.
to the first. So he fumbled after.
I like I said, he was not incompetent.
Yeah.
He wasn't in over his head, but he did not prove that he's a franchise quarterback just yet.
You can't do that.
And here's the other thing.
But why does he have to be? I want you to answer.
He doesn't have to.
For you to like him, why does he have to dim his light and be humble for you to like him? Why can't he be himself?
That's a fair question. He doesn't have to, because he doesn't have to care whether or not I like him. He doesn't have to care if anybody likes him. He's going to beat to his own drummer. It's also why he went in the 5th round.
For sure.
And the issue with that to me is it also shows that he didn't learn anything. Like, when you think you're going to be the first quarterback taken, or let's just say worst case scenario, bottom of the 1st round. And that was the narrative around him, right? And then the second round comes and goes, nothing. Third round, fourth round, and obviously he goes to the fifth round, and he's the second quarterback taken by the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
All right? And I'll tell you, athletically, he's better than Dylan Gabriel.
Yes.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So does he have to? No. But why are so many people rooting against him? Because of that. And you would think that if you're sensitive to the fact that there are people out there who've never met you, who will never meet you, who don't like you, that the humbling experience of being taken in the fifth round, the humbling experience of being the third string quarterback, the humbling experience of as much as Dylan Gabriel struggled, Stefanski was never going to go to you, that you might recognize when I do get my chance and we win and I excel, that's the time to just be thankful and not be that. And that's why so many people dislike him. But to answer your question, he doesn't have to. I'm not like he doesn't have to do anything I tell him to do.
Right.
But I'm telling you, having been around a long time, if you'd like to have more people root for you, have more people give you some grace when you fail, like I didn't lead with the fact that interception he threw was an embarrassment.
It was bad interception.
Was a horrendous decision and pass because they won the game. And of course, you had over 200 yards passing. But sometimes we get crazy. Shedeur Sanders, only thing he proved yesterday is that he's a little bit better than Dylan Gabriel. He did not prove yesterday that he's a franchise quarterback. And oh, by the way, you've been with the Cleveland Browns since May. You practice with them, right? You're in the locker room.
Not with the ones, but
you're at the practice facility. You are practicing with legitimate professional athletes every single day of the week. How about this? What if I came out and said this? Since you want to back me into a corner, Tyrone, I'll accept that.
I don't know.
How about this? How about all those videos when he's practicing by himself at a local high school? How about if he spent that time with the pros? Maybe he would have been even better. Maybe he would have completed 17 passes and not 11. But I'm not celebrating a kid who completed 11 passes.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are the wins coming from? And yes, I agree. Are they good enough to win those games? Yeah, of course they are, right? But the reality of this team is not very good this year in one-score games. They're not. That was their bread and butter a year ago. Like every win last year, one-score game, the Chiefs found a way to win it.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's almost like betting the stock market. The good part about it is you can take a bet today. In 2 or 3 days, if you nail that bet, you can be able to cash out, Joe. Like you just hit a heavy stock. Like you go into Sun Microsystems or whatever it's called, and you buy into it. In 3 days, you can sell it for a massive profit. Do you understand these markets, Joe?
I do understand the markets. It's amazing how some of the predictive markets seem to have the answers before the test.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Something else happened at the end of the Cleveland Browns win against the Raiders. And again, they played the Raiders, so let's not get crazy about, we won an NFL game. But, a lot of people out there, Tyrone included, have felt that Kevin Stefanski also does not like Shedeur and doesn't want to play him, right? That it was an ownership move, and Stefanski never wanted him, and Stefanski never wanted to play him. And I never bought into that up until yesterday. And I want to be very clear. It shows you I'll never lie to you. And if my opinion changes because something changed it, I'll be straight with you about it.
New information.
New information.
So you can have a new opinion.
Right. I'm like Matlock. I got new information. I can break the case now, okay? Okay.
Love
the old Matlock. Not the new Matlock.
I like the old Matlock.
Yeah. So I've never believed that the rhetoric and narrative that Stefanski didn't like him, didn't want him, and doesn't want to play him. And then yesterday happened. All right, and yesterday, after the game, and the team's all jacked up and juiced. You know, Myles Garrett looks like he might break the sack record. He's certainly got a chance to do it this year and finally take that award from the Fugazi Michael Strahan, who didn't earn it or deserve it. But that's another story.
I believe T.J. Watt tied him, so you can move over to. We'll just remove Strahan and we'll just go with T.J. We'll go with Watt.
Oh, but I know it's a short segment, but here's the thing. I now think you might be right. I think people out there that thinks Kevin Stefanski don't like Shedeur Sanders, they're right, and here's why. After the game yesterday, let's hear what Kevin Stefanski said, because I'm expecting a game ball to go to Shedeur Sanders. You know, rookie quarterback, first start, and a win. Let's hear what Kevin Stefanski said.
Offense wasn't perfect. How about that big play by Sam at the end? IB, huge play. Q, huge play. Harold making a big play, and then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done.
All right, so offense wasn't perfect. Great job by someone else. And then a great job by someone else. And oh, by the way, we had a rookie on his first start. He did pretty good.
Yeah, if it was Dylan Gabriel, he'd have had him on his shoulders. He loves Dylan Gabriel. Instead, that's what we get.
But I'm telling you, I am now with you. Kevin Stefanski does not like Shedeur Sanders. And is it possible, to go back to my comment about 10 minutes ago, that the reason he doesn't like him is because of his apparent cockiness,
absolutely,
or arrogance?
Absolutely. Now, what I was saying, when I was asking you why in the previous segment, I wasn't necessarily saying you were wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying that sometimes when no one believes in you, and I believe in that situation, no one believes in Shedeur, he must believe in himself.
Sure.
But with that comes a certain amount of hate that will come back in return.
Remember, this is the guy that did the whole mime thing in the locker room.
Right.
You know, when Gabriel got the gig and he didn't, and we all reacted to that. And he's a lightning rod for sure. We wouldn't talk about him if he wasn't, because when will we ever talk about the Cleveland Browns?
Right.
We're talking about the Browns because of Shedeur Sanders, and he got the win. I think if you go back and watch the tape, you'll say to yourself, yeah, the offense looked better. I think that's fair to say. He's very good at getting out of the pocket, holds the ball too long, fair to say.
That's been the knock the whole time. Yeah.
But he only completed 11 passes. Like, we're not going to send the kid to the Hall of Fame after an 11 completion day. But the fact that, and this I'm sure is going to drive people in his world crazy, and I'm backing you people up. If you're a Shedeur fan, and you woke up this morning and didn't know what happened yesterday, and you find out that Kevin Stefanski didn't give him a game ball, I'm with you on that. Like, to me, we celebrate rookies when they get a crack and do well.
Right.
Did he do great? No, he did not. Was he competent? Yes, he was.
Good enough to
win. Did he have
win.
a bad pick? Yep. He also had a great throw down the field. Judy was, just fell asleep and got hit from behind and fumbled the ball. And yes, I know the touchdown's on a screen pass, but whatever. He read the play, he made the right throw, and then the running back took it from there. But Kevin Stefanski not giving him a game ball allows everybody in the world that thought prior to yesterday that the only reason he didn't get a chance to play was because Stefanski doesn't like him. You got all the fuel you need to back that up, because there's no argument. There's no rationale at all why you didn't give your rookie quarterback a game ball after leading your team and playing the entire game, other than when they did the Wildcat early on.
Yeah.
And they did score a couple touchdowns off of it, so I'll give them credit for having a good play call there. But man, oh man, if you want to avoid the noise, you did not do yourself any favors by not giving that kid a game ball. And I want to be clear, because two things can be right at the same time. He was not great, but he deserved the game ball.
Yeah. Now, real fast, when they beat the Packers earlier in the year, 13-10, because of the defense, Joe Flacco threw for 142 yards, an interception, and got a game ball.
That's all you need to know. there's a problem with Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders. Kevin Stefanski, I now, with everyone else that thought it, clearly does not like Shedeur Sanders, and they are not going to be together next year.
No.
And yet I think Shedeur will be in Cleveland. I don't think Stefanski will be there with him. Here comes Dion.
You need Justin Jefferson on that wall in the playoffs. Like, you got to go get him. He is still the man. I understand the JJ week last. Like, I get it. It was ugly. There were a lot of spots where, where's he throwing that ball to? What's he doing? You know, it'll be fine. Justin Jefferson's far too talented, and McCarthy will continue to figure it out. But it's the target volume you want. He gets double-digit targets every week. He is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Oh boy, oh boy. This is not going to go away, folks. This betting scandal that involved Terry Rozier, that involved Jonte Porter last year, and then obviously with Chauncey Billups getting involved and stuff like that, this is not going away. This is not good. And this is not the end of this scandal.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Players behind the scenes have complained about Hurts' unwillingness to throw through tight windows against zone coverage. I told you Friday, Kevin, that Jalen Hurts takes the path of least resistance. He holds on to the ball. He doesn't like making those tighter throws. Though he loves making deeper throws, which it's interesting. Over 20 yards, he's one of the best in the National Football League.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. We're going to get to the Eagle Cowboy game in 1 second. I just wanted to finish the thought, and I don't want to do the entire show on Shedeur, obviously, but just play this out. Kevin Stefanski's got to go. All right, Kevin Stefanski will get a job somewhere else. He's still well thought of. Yeah. Maybe it'll be as a coordinator, maybe even a head coach, who knows. But it's been a disaster, just an outright disaster in Cleveland. And I do think that starts with the owner, to be fair. Yeah. But Stefanski's got to go. Just for the good, hardworking people in Cleveland, they just need someone else. They need new blood there. Yeah. So consider this for a second. On Saturday, Arizona State beat Colorado 42-17. A couple weeks before that, Arizona beat Colorado 52-17. Yeah. Week before that, Utah beat Colorado 53-7. They are getting blown out. They're 15th in the Big 12. I think they have 3 wins all year, right?
3 wins all year.
3-8, 3-9, something like that.
It's not going well at all.
It has been an absolute disaster. Yeah. Dion's also had his health issues well documented. But there's no reason to think it's going to get any better. You know, they do not recruit the best players in the country. I'm not sure how much money they have for NIL. And Dion has become more of a father figure than, a great coach for a lot of the young men in that Colorado program, right? And that's all good. Like, love Deion Sanders. But it's not working out in Colorado. Like, the bloom is off the rose. The excitement of Dion being there is gone. Obviously, his 2 best players are gone, and Travis Hunter and his own son. And they're, frankly, the embarrassment of the conference right now. And there's no reason to think it's going to get any better. So if you think that Shedeur is the answer, and I'll give you this, he's better than Dylan Gabriel. Bailey Zappi can't play either. Bailey Zappi will be a career backup now for as ever long as he can stay in the NFL. And you do have the opportunity to have, let's say, a top 10 pick, and there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out. Cleveland's got an interesting choice to make. Do they roll the dice on drafting another quarterback? That would be their 3rd quarterback drafted in 2 years. Or do they think that with the right coaching in place, that Shedeur Sanders is a legitimate franchise quarterback? So I'll go in reverse on that. if you think that he is, we've only seen a game and a half. He has not been great. That's fair. He has not been great. The first half he got in last week was a disaster, and he only completed 11 passes yesterday against one of the worst teams in all football, but they did get the win. That's paramount. If you think he's the answer, then you hired Deion to be the coach. Do you not? Deion's done in Colorado. It didn't work out. He had a couple bowl game appearances. That didn't work out. Didn't play for a national championship. It's been a disaster this year. He does have well-documented health issues with the blood clots, unfortunately. It's not easy chasing around 119-year-old kids when you could be surrounded by grown men who all of them get paid to play, and they have a certain understanding of responsibility, and you're not trying to graduate them or, teach them how to become men. So your job's a lot different in the NFL than it is obviously at the college level, right?
It is.
Well, I think Deion's done in Colorado. So if you think Shedeur's the answer, shouldn't Deion just be the coach?
I mean, you could go with that.
Who's going to coach him better?
The problem with it is, how do you find out whether or not Shedeur is the guy? You'd have to then let him play it out.
Well, Shedeur's got to be their starter the rest of the year.
Well, they have not committed to that.
Which is crazy. I know yesterday the other thing Stefanski said to the reporters is, we have not committed on who our starting quarterback is next week. I can tell you this as a fact. If they don't start Shedeur next week, they will have a problem in that locker room. Period. Stop. Myles Garrett will throw a fit, and you will have the most fractured locker room and guys coming up with fake injuries more so than any team you have ever seen. That team right now is vested, right or wrong, in Shedeur Sanders being their starting quarterback. No disrespect to Gillen Gabriel, but you stink. You haven't earned that job.
No.
You haven't.
He's undersized.
Your play didn't earn that job.
Yeah. No.
Your draft position got you the starting nod over Shedeur, not your play. So you finally get a win, and now you're going to tell your fan base and the other 52 guys in the locker room, we're going back to the guy that can't play? There's no way to do that. You might as well put the rope around your neck and jump off right now, because that would be career suicide to do that. So let's just agree Shedeur's the starting quarterback. And let's assume it doesn't get worse. And maybe even gets a little bit better over the course of the next 5 weeks.
They probably have one win left on the schedule. They play the Titans. But
okay, that's a dub.
They play the 49ers.
Okay.
The Bears on the road.
Yep.
The Bills and the Steelers.
So they have nothing but playoff teams other than one.
Right, and the Titans.
Yeah, so let the kid play. Like, sometimes you got to throw the baby in the water to teach him how to swim.
I agree. Also, these tough defenses, if you believe in them, if you do, will make him better.
And by the way, if he plays like crap over these games, because 4 of those 5 are playoff teams, then you know you got to go draft the quarterback.
Right, then you know.
And then Deion may not be your guy. But if he balls out and the offense looks credible, that changes the entire future for the Browns, both coaching staff-wise and draft-wise.
Right.
So just keep an eye on that. Now, let me go to your team and the debacle yesterday.
Failure. Nick Sirianni, you stink.
Woo! You have a 21-0 lead. The game is over.
Over.
It is a wrap. And then the second half comes around, and it's, hey, let's give Dallas as many opportunities as we can. Let's Saquon Barkley with the fumble. All of a sudden, A.J. Brown gets 0 targets, it seems like, in the second half. And then former New York Jet Xavier Gibson decides, I'm going to field the punt on my own
1 yard line.
And he fumbles it, and then the Eagles defense does the unthinkable.
They hold
them. All right? There's so much in this game, but let me start from the Philadelphia perspective. Because a lot of the attention this year, wrongfully so, has been on my guy, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it's not him.
Jalen Hurts was terrific yesterday.
Not him.
He was terrific yesterday. But you know who stinks this year? I know he owns it. I give him credit for that.
Yep.
And he eats it. He swallows it whole. Saquon Barkley stinks this year. And you see a glimpse now and then, and a good spin move, or maybe a nice screen pass goes 20 yards. Saquon Barkley, what do you have, 10 carries yesterday, I think it was, and averaged less than 3 yards a carry? Saquon Barkley is a problem now.
He is.
For the Philadelphia Eagles. Batiste, right? The backup? Yeah. That dude looks like he's shot out of a cannon.
Bigsby,
Bigsby, pardon me. When he gets the rock.
Yeah, same offensive line.
Yeah.
And he looks way better.
100%. So I'm not sure what's wrong with Saquon Barkley, but for those of you that have been yelling and screaming that it's a Jalen Hurts problem, Jalen Hurts was terrific yesterday. And then all of a sudden, the offense just shut down. Now, I'll give the Cowboy defense some amount of credit, and they did force turnovers, and they did get fumbles. But the Philadelphia Eagles, and as I was telling my wife and daughter yesterday, big Eagles fans, you can't win every game, but you should never lose a game that you have a 21-0 lead in, ever. I don't care where the game is. I don't care who you're playing against. You cannot blow a 21-point lead in 30 minutes of football.
You can't.
You can't. Now, blame who you want. I think you've got to blame, again, Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator. I think Nick Sirianni's got to take some heat on this as well. And Saquon Barkley, to his credit, he ate it after the game. He has been terrible this year, especially in comparison to last year.
And this is how bad it's been. Now, obviously, Saquon gets the bulk of the carries, but Tank Bigsby is averaging north of 7 yards a carry against this same offensive line. And this shouldn't be a surprise that Saquon took this step back. The one knock on him with the Giants was, and everybody took blame, the offensive line and all this stuff, is he never put back-to-back great years together.
Well, that's the case.
And in this case, he had a career high in touches. Historically, with any running back, you usually take a step back. This probably should have been expected, but he's far worse.
Yeah.
And they don't block well for him.
Here's the good news for Philly. The division's still a wrap. You're going to win the division. The bad news for Philly is that the Rams are better than you right now. The Rams are the best team right now in the NFC. And one quick note on the Cowboys who got to 500 and have like a huge game against the Chiefs at home on Thanksgiving this week in a couple days. But in a tie game, on 4th down, with 3 minutes to play, and it's 4th and goal, you have to kick the field goal and take the lead the way your defense has been playing with 3 minutes and change to go. The fact that he decided to go for it and get stoned and not put points on the board was malpractice from a coaching staff. That being said, the gods are on your side. You're 500, and now you got the Chiefs. Can't wait for Thursday.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are the wins coming from? And yes, I agree. Are they good enough to win those games? Yeah, of course they are, right? But the reality of this team is not very good this year in one-score games. They're not. That was their bread and butter a year ago. Like every win last year, one-score game, the Chiefs found a way to win it.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You need Justin Jefferson on that wall in the playoffs. Like, you got to go get him. He is still the man. I understand the JJ week last. Like, I get it. It was ugly. There were a lot of spots where, where's he throwing that ball to? What's he doing? It'll be fine. Justin Jefferson's far too talented, and McCarthy will continue to figure it out. But it's the target volume you want. He gets double-digit targets every week. He is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. It's a great weekend of football. We have 3 great games on Thursday and a great game on Friday. So we'll get to that, obviously, maybe not all today, but in the next couple of days. We will have a show for you on Thanksgiving Thursday. We will have a show for you the day after as well. A couple of news and notes, if I can. The Giants announced this morning they fired their defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Dude, they've had double-digit point leads in the fourth quarter of 5 road games and lost all 5 of them. So it was about time.
It's a record. It's never happened before. This has never happened before in NFL history.
And someone had to eat that. I know Brian Dable ate it first, but it happened again yesterday. The Giants are going to beat the Detroit Lions yesterday.
Good win.
And then all of a sudden, Jahmyr Gibbs runs for like 80 yards and a touchdown. Jameis throws his typical interception, which he likes to do. And next thing you know, the Detroit Lions steal the W. And the Giants are like, wait a minute, another fourth quarter meltdown? That happened yesterday. Quick college note from yesterday. Lane Kiffin now has 2 offers on the table, $90+ million apparently to coach either LSU or Florida. Yep. And the deal he has with Ole Miss is that he will let them know. They've kind of mandated this. They need an answer after the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, so Saturday is when it'll be announced whatever's going to happen.
Yeah, so by the way, just show of hands. We have a studio audience here. The cameras aren't facing them. I'd say about 80 or 90 people here right now.
At least.
Show of hands. How many of you people have heard of the Egg Bowl?
Well,
8 people.
I mean, Egg Bowl.
10. Another guy raised his hand.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
10 people?
The Egg Bowl's a big deal.
I know about the Egg Bowl. I do sports talk. You know about the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl.
It's a big game.
So the Egg Bowl is going to be remembered in Ole Miss history as the day you either found out that the greatest coach in Ole Miss history is staying.
Yep.
Or that the greatest coach in Ole Miss history is leaving.
Yes.
So the Egg Bowl takes on a whole different meaning when we find out afterwards if Lane Kiffin is taking the $90 to $100 million that apparently have been offered by not just LSU, but by LSU and Florida.
Yes.
So that game, I'm more interested in the post-game press conference now than I am the game itself.
Yeah, the other part is this will fundamentally change, most likely, how they do the calendar in that sport, and it will be the coach's fault. They always play victim. Saban goes on game day saying, it's not Lane's fault. Everything's the coach's fault. Everything, NIL, everything we got to this point is that if you leave a team that's a playoff lock to go to another team, they will fundamentally change the rules after this decision.
Yeah, by the way, it's a good point. That if you're Ole Miss, do you let him coach out because you have a chance to win a national title knowing that he's leaving? It's a tough thing. I think it depends on what the relationship you have. I also don't know what the offer is from Ole Miss.
Apparently, Ole Miss will match anything that these other teams will pay.
To me,
so it's not money.
If Ole Miss is willing to match the deal, I think you stay at Ole Miss. You've built something great, and you can be a powerhouse there. They've obviously got the money for NIL. You'll get every great quarterback that's looking to leave a bad situation, and I think there's a lot of merit into staying. Again, I want to be clear, if the money's the same.
The money apparently
If the
will
money
be.
wasn't close, look, I've done this in my career as well. There's a certain number, you go take the money. Because you got your own family you got to worry about. And when you're out of a job, and I've also lived this, anybody helping you pay your mortgage. So if the money's considerably different, take the money always, right? If the money's the same, man, I think things are good at Ole Miss. I would stay there. And now you're a hero. Now you walk on water for the rest of your life if you stay at Ole Miss. That's that. Malik Neighbors, the amazingly talented wide receiver for the Giants, who's out with the torn ACL, he put out a tweet and then deleted it. And his tweet was right on. The Giants are playing the Lions. The Giants are up by 3. We can show you the tweet right there. And the Giants have a choice late in the game. Kick an easy field goal, go up by 6, kick off. Let's even say Detroit gets the ball in the 30. They've got to go 70 yards with very little time on the clock and no timeouts left to try to beat you. But they didn't do that. Instead, the Giants decided to go for it. They don't convert. They don't get points. And now the Lions only need a field goal to tie you and go to overtime. And they kicked a 59-yard field goal to do exactly that. So Malik Neighbors is watching the game going, dude, this is common sense. Like every kid that ever played Madden knows what you do here. And I got to tell you something. Malik Neighbors is right. If the idea is to win the game, You kick the field goal, you go up 6, you kick off, and now you ask your defense to just stop them from going 70 yards for a touchdown.
Right, 69's allowed.
69
yards
is allowed.
There you go.
If the idea is to win.
To win the game.
And I understand when you're 2-9, the idea is to be very aggressive. I agree with that. 4th and 4, I don't care where you are, go for it.
Go for it, right.
You know, all that kind of stuff. But when you have a chance to win the game, go win the damn game.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors is right.
No, he's right.
That was a bad job by the New York Giants.
Now, are players allowed to say that?
Well, he deleted it right away.
Right. What he said was correct. The question is only should he say it? Because absolutely what he said was correct.
I think when it comes down to something like that, and look, he's not with the team, he's not playing. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. You could probably argue either side to that. But the players also know when they've got a competent coach on the sideline and when they don't.
Right.
Right? They're aware of it. And while Kafka's not going to be the coach next year, the reality is that when you're dying for a win, right, when you can't find a win anywhere, and you've had all these other fourth quarter collapses, and now you've got a relatively easy one where just take the 3 points, go up 6, and force them to score a touchdown to beat you. And instead, they barely got across midfield on that possession because they only needed a field goal. And I think Malik Neighbors is right. My gut is they've already called him and talked to him, which is why he probably took the thing down, or his agent said, Malik, take that down right away. That's not going to go well for you. But that doesn't mean he was wrong.
No, I think what he said was absolutely correct. And look at it. And Jameis what he has done is put the Giants in a position where they can win. They haven't won, but he's made them competitive in these games. That locker room probably deserved a W.
Yes.
And needed a W.
I mean, they've deserved a lot of W's based on what the score was going into the fourth quarter. Yeah. And then final news and note for you. You may remember, I guess it's a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
I sat right here. Tyrone was right there. And I said, I know they're 1-5, but they're not losing again this year. They're winning out. And lo and behold, what do you know? 5 weeks later, 5 consecutive wins, and the Baltimore Ravens are now a playoff team if it ended today. They win the division if it ended today. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive wins. They get the Bengals on Thursday night with Joe Burrow most likely.
Yeah.
And that'll be win number 6. The Ravens are back. Told you so.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. It has been a season to remember for Drake May. As of right now, May and Matthew Stafford are the favorites to win the NFL's MVP. Who had that at the beginning of the year? You probably could go through 20 quarterbacks before you got to Drake May as predicting winning the MVP. After this season, buy or sell, we will think of Drake May as the best quarterback in the 2024 draft class. Is this buy or sell? He certainly wasn't going in.
All right, for those who don't know, we're talking May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. A lot of interest there, right? A lot of interest there as far as those QBs. He's going to be the best. I mean, this is a question I would normally just take the field, right? Because I'll assume that Jaden Daniels has been really good. While he's hurt now. Caleb Williams, he's getting better and better. I'm still not giving up hope on the other three here as far as Penix, McCarthy, and Nix, although I would certainly have May well above them. So I think for me, it's either Daniels, it's either Williams, it's either May. Isn't this recency bias? Last year we went in, it's Daniels. By far, it's Daniels. Now because he's hurt, hasn't had a good year, it's Drake May. I'll sell this just for the sake of it, Craig here, but I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. I got Jaden Daniels still. I can't go this far with Drake May. Maybe second best, but it's not even about taking the field. We're having recency bias here. Jaden Daniels, to me, will still be awesome. So next year for Daniels goes back ahead of Drake May.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. If you are just tuning in, big game tonight. All right. And then, of course, you've got, I say big game knowing that the Carolina Panthers are playing tonight against San Francisco, but it's actually a big game.
It's a big game.
San Fran, of course, is trying to keep pace with what Seattle's doing and the Rams are doing. And believe it or not, the Carolina Panthers, even with a dwarf Oompa Loompa at quarterback, they win tonight.
They're in first place.
They're in first place because Tampa lost again yesterday. And now you've got Baker Mayfield
injured.
Injured is not throwing shoulder, but injured. And while it seems like everyone else is finally coming back for Tampa next week, now you're not sure if Baker Mayfield is going to be able to play. But the Carolina Panthers could wake up tomorrow in first place, and they don't have a quarterback, which is crazy.
They do. They have an average quarterback.
Absolutely crazy.
Now, what's crazy is, though, that's the biggest, that has to be the biggest surprise, that Carolina is no longer an automatic win.
Well, it's not just that. It's the biggest regular season game for Carolina in almost a decade.
Yeah, when Cam Newton was there.
Yeah, chance to get into first place Thanksgiving week, meaning you control your own destiny.
And the other
From
part,
a standpoint of getting into the postseason, like, I don't know how he's doing it, but give Canellis credit. He's doing it.
Right, and they might have a couple losses. They have the Rams, they have the Seahawks on the schedule, but they also have the Bucs twice in 3 weeks. If they beat them twice,
so they control their own destiny.
It's unbelievable that we're here.
I don't want to leave without you're just going back one more time, if I may, to what happened in Kansas City yesterday.
Yes,
because it's important for me to make it clear to everyone else in the world outside of Kansas City how ridiculously stupid Kansas City Chiefs fans are. Because if you go around town today or you go online, they're bowing out their chests like they did something yesterday. Like, this is a team that I thought was supposed to be, Super Bowl or bust every year. Now you're celebrating an overtime win at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Like, that makes you happy? If you're a Chiefs fan, you went to bed last night thinking, we're back? No, you're not. You're not back. You stink. You're an average football team. And by the way, Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback since Tom Brady, is playing average football.
Do another interception.
Another bad interception yesterday. We're talking average football right now out of Patrick Mahomes. Average coaching out of Andy Reid. Average coaching out of Steve Spagnuolo. And if it wasn't for the incompetency of the Colts and their offensive game plan, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Like, I'm looking at their plays, all right, in the second half of yesterday's game, and I'm not exaggerating. 3 plays, 7 yards, all right? The possession before that, 3 plays, 1 yard. The possession before that, 3 plays, 7 yards. You're talking about a one-score game, a game that winds up going into overtime. The drive before that, 3 plays, minus 2 yards. So that's 4 consecutive drives where you were 3 and out. 4 consecutive drives where you were 3 and out. That ain't got nothing to do with Kansas City. That's got everything to do with Indianapolis. They forgot Jonathan Taylor was on their roster yesterday.
Kareem Hunt got 12 more carries yesterday than Jonathan Taylor.
Period. Stop. That's all you need to know.
How do you do that?
You got to first place because you fed the ball to your best player. And then you got cute yesterday. You don't got to get cute in a game like that. Feed the ball to your best player and go home with a dub. The Colts are not, frankly, the way they looked yesterday, a team you can trust.
They're not ready.
Now, they're very good, but you can't trust them. And I'm telling you this, you can't trust the Kansas City Chiefs either. Because if you don't get that ridiculously bad roughing the passer call, which extended a drive, which got them a field goal, because they were all about field goals yesterday, if you don't get that call, and it was a ridiculously bad call that Mahomes is begging for. As soon as he went down, the first thing he did was look up. He touched me. He pancaked your ass, which is what his job is. So let's keep it real. If you don't get that call and the Colts aren't incompetent, the Chiefs are 5-6, say to themselves, how do we explain to our kids why we're not playing football in January? Because that's what would have happened. they would be in 11th place right now and no chance of making it into the postseason. And by the way, even with the W, they're still in 10th place. They ain't a playoff team right now. And you got the red-hot Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. Now, I remember what happened the last time Kansas City played in Dallas. That was the first half pass to Tyreek Hill, remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember
And he ran
that.
through the whole Cowboy defense and scored a game they were losing, I think, 14-3 at the time. That ain't going to happen again.
They don't have the players to do it
And
anymore.
because we're all watching, you ain't getting all the calls either. The NFL will give you calls at 4 o'clock on a random Sunday. They ain't giving you calls on Thanksgiving. You watch. It's a wrap for Kansas City. Have a great day.